Just be you.
Okay.
Be natural. I want to hear your story, not this perfect piece of thing.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I'm just saying, like, I talk a lot, so it's gonna be a lot of information going. It's a lot.
Cool.
But
It'll be fun. Let me pray for you real quick.
Yes, please. I was actually gonna ask you. I was like, can we please pray? Cause I'm feeling a little.
Pray for you and
Yeah.
we'll jump in.
Okay. Amen. Okay. I feel better. I feel a little better.
Awesome. Well, Scarlett, thank you so much for being here. Can you please tell me your name, what campus you attend, and what school you go to?
Okay. My name is Scarlett Valentine. I attend Anaheim campus, and I attend Savannah High School, like down the street from Anaheim campus. So.
And you mentioned you live like really close to the Anaheim.
Yeah. I live really close. Like I used to actually in the beginning of like when I was going to church, like sometimes my mom couldn't give me a ride, so I would literally just walk from home to Anaheim. So I'd just be walking. It's literally so close. Everything's so close in Anaheim. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Have you lived in Anaheim your whole life?
Yeah, I actually have. Wow, that sounds so crazy saying that. I didn't even like realize that. Yeah, I did. Like I have. That's crazy.
Cool.
Wow.
So what was life like for you growing up? Do you have siblings? Was it fun? Do you have a lot of good memories? Was it hectic? What was life like for young Scarlett?
Yeah. So I did. Sorry, I still do. I live with my parents, right? Manuel and Stephanie Valentine. I have two little sisters, Marley, Madison. I'm 2 years. I'm 18, 16, 15. Yeah, 18, 16, 15. So we're all super close in age. Growing up, we were all like bashing heads. We were always doing all that kind of stuff. And honestly, I didn't grow up with God in my life. So, well, he was there, but I didn't know of him. So, but thanks to him, I still grew up loved. So my family's really loving. Even my grandparents, like all sides of my family are super loving. I grew up with just so much love and support from my whole family, which is actually insane. But I'm constantly supported, and like just having my sisters, like even being close in age with them, it was always really hard. But I think we always just knew in the back of our minds, like despite our little fights, like we always loved each other. You know, we always liked each other. We still kind of hang out. We still are growing with each other. And even my parents, they had me really young. When they had me, they were about 19. My mom was turning 20. My dad was 19. And before I was even born, my mom was fully pregnant. Then they got married, and it was like, boom, boom, boom. Everything was back to back. And like just knowing that, I was like able to give them a lot of grace because again, like I was learning, they're learning. So basically, my environment and family was just everyone's learning everything. Like everything was just a big process everyone had to go through, and it was just. But it was just so loving. Like, I think that's the one word I could describe my family. Like, there's just so much love. And even when we didn't know Jesus, I could still feel his love in my family because he was giving it to us even when we didn't know him. So, yeah, that was just like crazy to think about.
Was anyone in your family, I guess, religious at all? Or was it just kind of something that was like, yeah, Christmas and Easter, but outside of that, we don't really go?
So actually none of my family was religious at all. I can't think of one person who was religious actually. I think my great grandma, yes, she's still alive. She's like 80, I think, 75, but she's really young. But, so we would go over to my grandpa's house. We'd always spend the night. They would take care of us. My grandpa, you know, my great grandma, every night she would like have us pray Catholic prayers, and we would just repeat it, and it was kind of just a love thing, you know. She did it because she loved us and she wanted us to be protected every night, and like she always just would tell me like, oh, make sure you say this or else you won't be protected or else you won't be safe. So it was kind of like, you know, it was just like, oh, I got to like say these, but I mean, we never really took it seriously. We kind of just like, oh, you know, she was just saying stuff. But every time we were at her house, she would come over. I mean, she would come to us before we went to sleep, and she'd like have us repeat whatever she said. And I actually still remember it. It was a little much, you know. Thinking about it now, it was sweet, but it's just thinking back to it now, it was just I didn't understand it, right. And I think I barely still understand it, but it was just a sort of love connection I had with her. And that's what really just, it was just, okay, I love her. I'm going to do this for her, you know?
Mhm.
And I think my sister's still kind of keeping that idea of that. My mom did tell me that she did grow up Catholic, and she actually taught other people, you know, the religion and like how you're supposed to act, like all that kind of stuff. She was, I guess, well, from the glimpse of what she told me, like she was really into it, but she just never brought it into the family, you know. Um, thank you, thank you. You know, I don't mind that one, but yeah, and no one was really religious. It was kind of just everyone was there. My mom at the time when we grew up, she didn't really like any of that stuff. It was just a really hard topic for her, and it was never implemented in our lives. I think my dad took us to church like when we were really little. It was like 2 times at the Rock. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he took us like a few times, but I only remember just playing around. You know, like I don't remember anything else. But I every time he would try to do that, like my mom would be like, "Oh, like I'm not going. Like don't do that. You know, like we don't need to do that stuff. Why would we like have that? You know." And you know, my mom's great, by the way, but that's just what happened. And it was just like I just always had this thought, like, you know, that stuff doesn't really matter. You know, God doesn't matter. Like whatever that is, I don't need to worry about it. You know. So that's kind of how that was in that time. But
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I am a fellow oldest sibling, two young parents. My dad was 20, my mom was 19 when I was born.
Oh, that's actually crazy. What the heck? Okay.
So what was that like for you now at 18, almost, or basically an adult?
Yeah.
How do you think back through like your time just as a kid growing up, being the oldest sibling?
Right. I feel like I just had so much, like I felt the need to always be there for them. You know, like I think I was a rude little kid. Like I mean I had like I was loving, you know, I cared for my sisters. I would fight with them occasionally, but it was just like when they were fighting, I was always the one like, hey, stop fighting, like I'll split them up or whatever. But it was just always like be there for your sisters, like be a good big sister. My parents really tried their best not to put that pressure on me that I'm like a mother to them. So I'm grateful for that, very grateful. But it was always that pressure of you have to be a good big sister. You have to show them the way. So like literally throughout my life, like I always tried my best in everything, tried to get the best grades, like the best athlete, like basically try to pave a way for them. And they didn't follow it, but you know, I try my best, you know, but it's just like, that was just my goal, you know, have them set for life, kind of, in a sense. And it was just really mentally challenging for me because I felt like everything that I was doing, they would see. So I'd always try to do something, like try my best to show them only the good sides. And then they would see, like it was either they only saw really bad Scarlett or really good Scarlett. So I either was like yelling at them, screaming at them, being mean, or I was being super loving and I was like, hey, I love you, you know. But it was just really, it was really challenging too because like being an older sibling is not for the weak. It is not for the weak. Like you are literally an example to everyone. Like you're the first granddaughter, you're the first I was the first everything, actually, the first kid in my family basically. And I made my grandma, I made my grandpa, I made my aunt, and all that kind of stuff. So I think for me, like it just built a lot of pressure. Like I have to be this like great person that like everyone thinks is like cool, like funny, you know. And it kind of like it just my parents tried their best not to put pressure, but I think in the end I ended up putting my own pressure on myself to try to be that person. Like, oh, like Scarlett, like be that example that people use, you know, like, oh, that person is so cool, like why can't you be like them? I always try to be that type of person, and I think that was always just, it was never really the right way to be, you know. But it was just always a struggle. It was always something I really had a hard time with. And like anytime someone said something bad about me, like it would literally break my whole world down. Like it was something like I just couldn't handle, and I would always like just start crying or I would break down or whatever. And like I always needed like that type of praise. Like I always needed someone to tell me, hey, like you're so good at this, or you're so good, or you're so cool, you know? I always needed those compliments. And it was just, that was a struggle too, because I just I needed that, and I needed that to thrive. I needed that to literally live. Like I needed people to tell me, hey, you're good. Like you are cool. Like just give me praise, give me compliments. And that's how I would live my life. Like I would be, searching for that in any aspect of my life, like sports, academics. I would suck up to my teachers, okay, for people who do that. Like, I understand you, I get it. Like, I did that all the time, and it was just like, and I always deny it. I always would deny the things that I did and like why I did them. But in reality, like, let's be for real. I always wanted those compliments, and I'm not even gonna lie. Still now, I still struggle with it. Like, I still struggle with doing something good or doing something well, and I think I did well, and understanding that people don't have to tell me that I did well in order to feel like I did a good job, And I still struggle with that. Obviously, I'm a lot better with it now, but it's just like growing up, it was just so difficult, especially with like the circumstance of being an older child, making everyone like giving everyone a name, basically. It felt like, and with that, I put my own pressures on myself, the pressures that my parents tried not to put on me, and I ended up putting it on myself. So good job, parents. Good job, and it wasn't you, it was me the whole time. But I mean, it was rough. And I think like now looking back, it's just insane. Like understanding that I was like that and knowing that it's okay to not need that. It's okay to not receive a compliment. It's okay to have confidence in yourself, And I think before, like, I really just had no confidence. Like, even when I was little, I was just like, man, I'm so chunky. Like, I'm a little chunky 7-year-old, Like, it was rough. Like, I don't know.
You thought all of this just yourself? You had no one tell you
No,
that?
I had no one really telling me. My family, they're Mexican, so, like, like, oh, you eat a lot. But it was a fun little joke, It wasn't really, I didn't ever took it seriously. I just, for myself, like, even at school, kids are really, like, mean, like, to be honest. Like, let's be for real. They're still mean to me now, and my feelings get hurt sometimes. Kids ministry is not for the weak either. Just saying. Oh my gosh. I love you, Janelle. Don't worry. She makes it great.
Carrying all of that, this desire to do great, be great, like, is not inherently bad, but can put a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah.
What was life like going through middle and high school? What sports were you playing? What were your grades like? What were your friends like through those 6 years or so?
Honestly, middle school was horrible. I hated middle school. I think 6th grade, I was like so excited to go into middle school. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm finally gonna be older or whatever. And I thought I was gonna be this super cool kid. It was actually the opposite. I did all the sports, literally every quarter we had a sport, and I did every single one of them. I tried out, I made it on all the teams. I tried my best to have great grades. I tried my best to get my teachers to be nice to me and me to be nice to them, and I joined these clubs. And I did all these kinds of things, and in the process of that, I was trying to find some sort of validation. And honestly, I never got it, which is why I kept searching for it. And it was rough. It was really rough. Having to do all of that and not receive anything, it was rough. Like, obviously, my parents would give me, like, praise, like, hey, good job, like, we're proud of you. But honestly, in the end, like, for me, in the moment, I felt like whatever anyone was saying, like, I didn't get enough of it. I was like, okay, good. I did good today. Like, tell me that tomorrow again, like again and again. So it was like a repeated process. Like, I needed someone to tell me something good every day, And it was just really hard because I had best friends, from elementary, and coming into middle school, we were like, okay, like we're gonna meet up every day at this certain spot at this one middle school, like because we're all going together, so we have to be friends, like we have to do all these kinds of things, and like basically telling each other that we have to stick together, and we weren't allowed to make any other friends, kind of, which was kind of the pact. Me obviously being like who I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And they would meet up every day, and I would kind of just walk past by them with my new friends every day. And like, I would still talk to them. I'd be friends with them, but it was just like, I wanted to have new experiences. I wanted to have new friends. I wanted all these new things. Like, I wanted to go talk to guys, because before in elementary, I definitely did not talk to guys. And if I did, it was not pleasant for neither of us. So like, I was trying to, talk to all these boys. I was trying to do all these things in middle school. And my old friends saw that. And my old friends were like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, this isn't you. Like, this isn't who you are. Like, why are you talking to these guys? Why are you talking to these girls who smoke, who drink, who do all of that? Because, like, I was hanging around those people, and I was doing the things that they were doing. And Although it wasn't like to the extent that they were, I still was. So, and in 7th grade, right? So, and it was to the point where one of the teachers I was in a club. I was still doing all the great things that I was doing, you know. I had good grades. I did my sports. But it was kind of like I only did that for the validation. And I was like, okay, now that I'm doing all this stuff, I could do my own thing. So I was like, as long as I have good grades, I could do whatever I want. As long as I'm a great athlete, I could do whatever I want. So I did exactly that, you know, like anytime my friend was like, oh, like, let's go to the bathroom, let's go hit this jewel or whatever, like, I would go hit it. And like, I would go tell her that. And looking back, that's so sad. Wow, I can't believe I did that. I actually, like, I'm barely reflecting on it, but yeah. And it was a rough time because I had to figure out what friends I was supposed to hang out with and what friends I wasn't, you know? And a teacher came up to me. She's like, hey, look, you're a great student. You're doing these grades. You're in my club. It's so crazy because the club I was in was Friday Night Live. And it's like, you're not supposed to do drugs. You're not supposed to. It's kind of the opposite. You know, I was in Friday Night Live and I was in this club and they were like, don't smoke, don't drink, don't do these things. And then like, I did them. So it didn't make any sense. But I just wanted to join a club so I could, you know, have that validation that I was in a club. But the leader, she was like, hey, like, you're a great student, but I see you hanging out with these girls who are influencing you in a way that I don't see that's right. She's like, you need to get away from them. Like, you need to get away right now. And looking back, I feel like God was trying to protect me then, and I was not listening, and it ended up exploding in my face. So because of that, that situation, those girls that I was with, my old friends came up to me and they're like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, this isn't you. You're talking to these guys. You're doing whatever you're doing with them, and you're not even hanging out with us anymore. What's going on? Like, it was one girl came up to me and then she was like, our other friends are to the point where they don't want to be friends with you anymore. And one of those friends was actually my best friend. And, you know, I still talk to them. I still connected with them, just not in a way where I made it seem like we still need to be friends. But in my heart, I still had my best friend, you know? And she was like, yeah, they don't want to be friends with me anymore. And I was like, oh, you know, hold up, stop. I want to hang out with you guys. You know, I still want to do your good stuff. Like, I still want to do all this good, fun stuff with you guys. But I also want to have these bad friends who, like, are super fun and, like, do these fun stuff. And, like, and with both sides, I was literally being pulled apart between both sides, which is crazy because now I'm being, like, I'm not really being pulled apart, but, like, we're still fighting the world and we're still fighting, you know, God's kingdom and, like, going back and forth. But looking back, that's crazy. But yeah, she was like, so what's it gonna be? You know, you have to choose one. And obviously knowing who I was, I chose the bad side. But I did try my best to receive my best friend back because honestly, that was the only person that I wanted at the time. And I literally that day I came home crying to my mom. I was like, Mom, like, I'm gonna lose my best friend. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, please help me. And me and my mom just sat in the car and I was just sobbing. She's like, look, you can write her a letter, you can apologize, like, do whatever you can, like, just apologize to her. And I was like, okay, I'll apologize. So I got this paper and I wrote this long, long letter to my best friend at the time. And I was like, please forgive me. Like, I'm so sorry. And like, it was literally just me apologizing for 2 straight pages. And I told her, like, I still really want our friendship and I'm sorry for everything I did. And I ended up giving her the letter. You know, she was mad, she was disappointed, all of the above. And I came back that day and I talked to my mom and I was like, hey, I gave her the letter. She's like, okay, you gotta wait. Like, she's got to talk to you now. Now it's on her. And she ended up talking to me and she said that she didn't want to be friends anymore and that it's not that she doesn't like me. She just doesn't like how I treated her and the stuff that I did. And like, oh my gosh, it was it literally was a breakup. Like, I was so disappointed and I was so sad. I literally came home and I was like, Mom, like, she doesn't want to be my friend anymore. Like, I need to get her back. Like, I need to get her back. I told her, I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I can't do anything without her. Like, I need her back. And like, it was so horrible for me. And like, I just realized the gravity of the situation where I chose other people over my best friend. And she realized that, and that's why she decided to leave. And after that, like, we still went to the same high school. We still went to the same junior high. But we just never were friends again. And it just, that literally broke my heart. Like, she was my road dog, you know? She was the one I was with all the time. And like, experiencing that made me realize like I didn't need those bad friends anymore. So I immediately was like, okay, like, I'm not gonna hang out with you guys anymore. Like, I'm not gonna do that stuff anymore. But I stopped hanging out with him. And by that time I stopped hanging out with him, COVID happened. So I really like had no choice but to not hang out with anyone.
Right.
So like entering 8th grade, we had COVID and stuff. You know, you guys know all of that pretty much. Honestly, during COVID, it was really rough. I'm not even gonna lie. It was insane. Like, we just like couldn't talk to anyone. We couldn't do anything. So it was literally just isolation to the fullest. And like,
Did you have online school? Like, were you in classes online, or was it the way where it's like, just as long as you get the work done, you're fine?
So actually, because of 7th grade, I had good grades, but they said you're ending like the last quarter of your 8th grade, whatever grades you had, they're just gonna use those. So 7th grade, I was fine. I didn't do any work until 8th grade. 8th grade, they just wanted us to do our work, show up to the class, and you're good. Which was super easy for me. I literally just had straight A's I didn't care. I was like, as long as I get good grades, I don't care. But yeah, we were just, my family, everyone was just isolated. I literally had no friends, like, at all. I wouldn't hang out with anyone. I literally just rode my skateboard everywhere. Like, every time I had to pick up something from school, I rode my little skateboard or whatever. Oh my gosh. Penny board, it was a penny board. My gosh. But yeah, it was actually insane. Like, we literally didn't even have to do anything. Gained a lot of weight. Gained a lot. I gained a lot of weight that time. I was a little chunky monkey then. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah, I was pretty huge. But thanks to sports, once I entered in 9th grade, I actually was able to lose all the weight. So thank you, Jesus. But yeah, that was crazy. COVID was crazy. And then entering 9th grade, I made a lot of decisions in 8th grade that did not really it set me out of like what I wanted to do, you know? So entering 8th grade, I was like, all right, 9th grade, I'm gonna join basketball. I'm gonna be this all-star. Like, I'm gonna get on the team. I'm gonna do all these things. I had a bunch of plans. And like entering 9th grade, it was like, boom, like, it's not that easy. You can't just do that, you know? The basketball team at high school was insanely difficult. They were just entering a new transition. They had a new head coach, new coaches and everything. And it was just so hard. It was really difficult. And like, I actually have a picture of my first day. And like, I took a picture and I was like, and my whole face was red. My whole face was red. It was crazy. And honestly, that community was really difficult at first too, because of my personality, the way I was just such a headstrong kind of person. And, you know, I still am, but I was really rude. I was rude to people. I spoke my mind, like, completely. I told people stuff they did not need to hear or did not want to hear. I was just a very rude person. And like, my parents would always tell me, like, Scarlett, like, you can't say stuff like that to people. Like, you can't talk to people like that. You can't say these things. And, you know, I just ignored them because I thought I was like, it's their problem. Like, I didn't think I was the problem, you know? And like entering 9th grade, like, everyone on my team did not like me. Everyone just kind of hated me, you know? Everyone didn't like me at school. Everyone thought I was annoying. Everyone thought I was weird. Still am, but nicer, you know? At least I'm a little nicer now. So, you know, it's a little fun, annoying, fun, weird, you know? But honestly, everyone kind of hated me, and I was still pushed into that leadership role. So I had to be a leader that no one liked, which was great. So I did, a lot of people did talk behind my back. A lot of people did do things, and I did a lot of things to people. So I'm not saying that I deserved it, but I think I needed to learn all of that because I needed to learn how to speak to people in the way that they need to be spoken to. And I think 9th grade was really rough. Also, 10th grade was rough too, man. It just keeps on going. 10th grade was even worse because people knew how I was. They knew how I were. They knew how I was, and they knew how I acted, and they hated me even more about it because now they knew for sure. And I mean, I still love basketball. That's all I ever cared about. Basketball was literally my hype dog freshman year, sophomore year. That was my whole life. Basketball was my whole life. So every time someone said something about me, I was like, I don't care. I love basketball. I don't love you. Like I don't care about you. And I still continued to try my best for the grades and stuff. But once I hit second semester sophomore year, basketball was doing bad. And knowing that basketball was my whole life, it was like, whoa, like we're not doing well. And I literally just took a turn. Like, I just wasn't the same person anymore. Like, I was just mad all the time. I was angry. I didn't want to talk to anyone. It reflected at home. Like, I was mean to my sisters. I was mean to my mom. I was just mean to everyone. Like, I just wasn't a pleasant person to be around anymore. And all because basketball was doing bad. And my grades had dropped. I barely passed that semester with all C's. And I was just doing horrible. Like, I almost failed math. Like, I was just doing really bad. And what's it called? It was just horrible, yeah.
Can I ask what was going on that sophomore year, looking back, that made it such a difficult year? Like, was there anything going on for the bad grades and the difficult basketball, or was it just not the greatest team, harder classes? Like, what was going on for you during that time?
Yeah. So I was taking all honors classes. So they were not, honors classes are like a little bit faster pace, but it really wasn't that bad, but it was still kind of challenging for me. And for basketball, the seniors had just left. So I was pushed into a leadership role where I had to literally take over the team basically and like lead everyone into something I didn't know what I was doing. So I literally had no idea what I was doing. I was like super fresh. I had started basketball, literally touched the ball. I barely touched the ball before that. It was absolutely nothing. And yeah, so I was pushed into this huge leadership role with tons of pressure, tons of all of this. My mom was barely still like accepting that like I had to dedicate to basketball in order to get better. And like that was really hard, just having my parents like process that like, oh, she's actually dedicated to this. Like she's actually putting time and effort into this. Like we need to support her in this. And that with transition was kind of difficult because I had pressures like, hey, you still have to do stuff at home. You still have to do, kind of your chores, clean your room, like all the things you have to do at home, I still had to do, plus my school, plus my sport. So it was just like a ton of pressure. And because I was so used to people telling me like, hey, you're so good. Like all these compliments I would get about everything. Like for sophomore year, I just didn't get any of them, And I think honestly, that was the main thing. And it was just so like horrible. Like I felt horrible. Like my self-esteem was at its worst. My mental state was at its worst. I just like, because basketball plummeted, so did everything else, my freshman year, I was like the all-star, on JV or whatever. Everyone was like, you're so good, blah, blah, blah. We literally went undefeated on JV, but then I had to go up to varsity my sophomore year and be a leader on varsity. So that all just was really bad. And like, because basketball was so bad, my grades turned bad, the way I treated people was bad. Everything kind of just turned for the worst because I wasn't receiving the praise that I thought I needed or any of the compliments that I thought I needed or deserved, And also, my teammates didn't like me either. So that's like a huge part of, like being talked to behind your back or like, just being treated badly, but also treating others badly just wasn't like, it wasn't great, And like I was receiving all the lashback from that. And and like it was to the point where I would cuss out my teammates like during practice or like I would just cuss out people at school, I'll just dropping F-bombs like they're fun, like, but it was just really bad. And I think that that year definitely had me reflecting on a lot. And I knew I wanted to grow and I knew I wanted to be better, but I really just didn't know how. And like, so I just sat in that feeling of like, I'm a failure, And that whole year I felt that way. And then once people saw my grades drop, they were like, what's wrong with her? What is she doing? And then more like being like feeling like a failure came in more, And it was just like literally I felt like the Great Depression. Like everything was just devastating. Like there was no stop on the amount of waves of horrible stuff that happened. It just kept coming, like I lost friends, like my teammates hated me. It was just stacked on top of each other. And like I just really didn't know how to deal with it. And so I just would lash out. I would be mean to everyone. I didn't want to talk to anyone. And like I think that's what really pushed me into junior year. Like, just that feeling of like feeling like a failure, and like I was gonna take AP classes my junior year, and everyone was like, oh, you can't do it, because I was such a bad student my last semester. But I was like, no, like, I'm gonna prove to myself that I can do this. Like, I'm gonna do all these things. I'm gonna commit myself to all these things. So I came into junior year wanting better for myself. I wanted more for myself, and like, I knew that summer that I needed to work hard. So I worked hard for basketball. Like, I progressed. I, worked out all the time. I did everything I needed to do to be a better player, and I did everything I needed to do to be a better student. So, again, only player and student, not family member, not friend, not teammate, just to be a better. I did everything for myself. Everything was for me. And junior year, I came in and I was still feeling like a failure. So, but because of the summer, I was like, you know what, like, I can do this. I felt some sort of motivation because of the work that I put into myself. And like, I was doing good. And then things started to get bad again. I was just like, man, like, I'm working so hard, but I'm not getting any of the benefits. Like, no one's giving me compliments. Like, no one's telling me anything. I still feel like a failure. And I was like, what's going on? Like, why is this happening to me? And then I have an Avid class with two of my friends, Dominic and Maureen. I kind of talked about it at senior retreat, but every day Dominic would, or, every other day he'd be like, hey, like, are you okay? Like, is something going on? Like, what's he doing? Like, why do you care about me? Like, it was so odd and it was so weird. And I was just like, why are you asking me this? Like, why do you care? And like, every day I'd just be like, yeah, like, I'm fine, bro. Like, leave me alone. I don't know, even though he was my friend, and yeah. And every time he would say, I would say no. And I mean, every time I would say yes. And every time I was like, this kid's weird. Like, what is he doing? And then one day he was like, oh, like, you should come to my youth group. Like, it's so fun. And we do all these kind of things. And I'm like, no, I have practice. Like, I can't do that. Like, I already have enough on my plate. I don't need to deal with that stuff, And he's like, oh, come to my church. And he just kept inviting me. And I kept telling him, like, no, dude, like, I don't want to go. Like, I don't want to be there. It was not something I wanted to do, And like, I was just really frustrated because he kept inviting me. And then I started to feel bad because he kept inviting me and I had to keep saying no. And then one day I didn't have, like, practice ended kind of early. And so youth group starts at 6:30, but my practice ended at 7. And then he was like, or I think it ended at 6. I think my practice ended at 6, yeah. And he was like, that one day he asked me again and he was like, oh, do you want to go? And I was like, oh, I have to see if my practice ends on time. Like, and I don't have a ride. Like, and I can't go, Like, I was making excuses why I couldn't come to youth. Students still do that. Just throwing that out there. But, and it was just, he was like, oh, my mom could give you a ride. And I was like, right. Let me check what time our practice is. And he's like, okay, look right now. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, he just did not stop. So I look at my phone and I'm like, dang, like, practice ends early. And like, he's like, oh, okay, we could take you. And I was like, man, like, I don't want to go. And my other friend, DeMartin, he's like, you'll be fine. Like, just come, it'll be fun. And so next thing I know, like, they're picking me up from school. It was sports day that day, so you had to wear, sporting. And I was like, oh, dope. Like, I get to wear my travel, like, uniform. Yeah. So I put it on, and they picked me up. I think they picked me. I don't remember if they picked me up from my house or from school, but I'm pretty sure it was from my house because I got to change into my uniform. So I pull up with my uniform, and I just, like, look at the place, and I was like, oh, like, didn't know this was here. I saw the church when I passed by it, but I never knew this was here. Like, I never knew this place literally existed. And I was kind of, like, going in, and then everyone was super nice and stuff. I mean, I was a little brat, so I thought everyone was dumb and mean. And, I just hated everyone in general. And I think I just hated everyone because I hated myself. So that was just a really hard to go into the church. Like, it's so loving. And, like, despite my family being super loving, I was mean to my family, and I didn't treat my family well. And these people that I don't know are really loving, and they're so nice to me, and they're so welcoming. And I just felt really uncomfortable because of all the love that I was getting. All people were just so nice to you to the point where you're like, ew, you know, like, hello, what is going on here?
Right.
Like, it just felt foreign to me because I hadn't been nice to people in such a long time. And, yeah, so we were just coming into youth group, and, like, I just remember, like, coming in and, like, this sermon, I was like, what is this, you know, like, that question just came in. Like, I honestly only came for the food because I was hungry, and, like, they had nachos that day, and I was like, dope, like, yes. And, like, they were just super nice, and I just remember coming in, like, everything was weird, everything was gross, like, I thought everything was weird, you know. I can't explain it in any other way other than I just thought everything was weird and annoying. And you know, again, weird, annoying, still am. So but it just was just so foreign to me. And after that, I was like, I kind of want to come back, but I don't really. But after that, he took me back. Like, his mom gave me rides every week, and my mom started to have to give me rides because I started to want to go. And then yeah, that was pretty much that. It's funny.
So what,
Worked out.
in that season of junior year, you've now done all the things to get yourself back on track. You know, you worked out harder, you trained more, you studied more. But I'm getting the sense that you still felt like something was kind of missing there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what changed for you when you got to that point of like, I need something else?
Right. So, honestly, that time when I started to come to church, I started to listen to, I forgot her name, Vivi, sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I actually talked to her during Saint Retreat, but so Vivi was preaching at that time, and it was kind of cool because I didn't know that women could do that, you know, like talk like that. So at the time, I was like, oh, okay, like this girl gets me. Like, this girl, I know what she's talking about. Like, she knows this is hard, and so I was just like, and this is the beginning of junior year where I was coming to church, right? And I was like, okay, like, this sounds pretty cool. Like, this sounds like something that could help me. So I started to, like, ask more questions, you know, get a little bit more involved a little bit, play their games a little more. And then one day, they were like, oh, well, you know, if you want to give your life to Christ, just raise your hand. And I was like, I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. So I literally had no idea why. Like, I don't know why. I just raised my hand. And then, like, we split into groups. And then, they're talking, right? We do our group talk, and then after Damaris, she was like, "Oh, if you raised your hand, like, can you guys stay after so I can talk to you guys?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm in trouble. Like, what did I do?" You know, like, I was so scared. I was actually terrified.
Right.
I thought I did something bad or I wasn't supposed to do something, and like, all these horrible thoughts came in my head, and I was like, "Oh, I need to get out of here," you know? Like, I'm just kidding, you know? And she talked to us. She's like, "This is an important step." And I was like, "To what?" Like, like, it just didn't click. Like, I had no idea what I'd done. And, like, it was just, she was talking to me. She was like, "Oh, if you need help, like, moving forward, like, let me know. Like, come talk to me." So she was an option to come talk. And I was just like, okay, like, whatever, sure. You know, I literally had no idea what I was doing. And I initially, like, got out that room. And then the girl that also did that with me, she was like, "Oh my gosh, how do you feel?" I was like, "I don't know, like, cool." like, how do you feel? She's like, "I just feel so great. Like, I just feel I'm ready for this. I'm so nervous." And I was like, "For what? Like, what are you ready for? Like, why is everyone acting like this?" You know, like, even watching the sermons, like, I still just didn't connect. Like, it just still didn't register in my mind that, like, you know, he's there, you know, like, this is what you actually did. And it wasn't until because I knew they were talking about Jesus and God, but, like, I didn't know what I was doing still. And it was, like, again, like I said, on senior retreat, like, it was that second, after I started coming to youth, I started to come to service. And that's when they also took me, they brought me bright and early, 9:15. And it was the second time that I was there where Michael was singing. And, you know, I was just pretending to sing. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever you guys are doing. You know, I was just trying to follow the lead of my friend, Damarian. He was always on my left side. and I was like singing, and then like I'm looking up, and like Michael's just like singing so well, and then my friend's like, oh, like he's doing a good job, yeah, and I was like, dude, like that sounds so good, like he's doing so well, and I'm just like listening, and then like there's just this like huge bright light, and I'm just like, whoa, like it was like it was such a like powerful feeling, you know, and like I got chills, and like I was just like, you know, like, but like in my head I was like, oh, but like in like my physical body, I just felt so like, whoa, like I just wanted to sing. Like suddenly I wanted to do everything like you're supposed to be doing, you know? And it was just, oh my gosh. Like when people talk about their like crazy experiences, I so believe like even if they make it up, okay, I don't care. Like I will 100% believe them, because like actually feeling one is like it's breathtaking. Like it's actually breathtaking. And like I literally just saw a light, and that's all I saw. And like I felt like so loved. Like everything I thought I was missing, it was found. And like it was just an overwhelming moment with like it was powerful yet overwhelming in like the best ways possible. You know, like when you think of something powerful, you think like, oh, strong and like firm and like all that kind of stuff. But this powerful was more of like, whoa, like it was a beautiful, powerful, like it was something just so like magnificent that like you didn't know what to do, you know? And after that, like I was just like, whoa, you know? And so Wednesday comes back up again. I get in, my dad picks me up this time. And I'm like, Dad, like, I don't know what happened, but like this happened at church, and like my whole body felt weird, but like it felt really good. He's like, Scarlett, like that's the Holy Spirit. Like that's the Holy Spirit. Like that's good. And I was like, what? And I was like, Dad, like it felt so good. Like I want to feel that again. And he's like, just keep going to church, keep going to church. And mind you, my dad wasn't going to church with me at this time, but he still had a relationship with God. Just didn't really share it with us yet. But it was just like, whoa, like I could feel this again. Like, and I just was like, okay, like I need to go to church again. Like I need to go again. So like after that, every worship service, I was screaming, trying to feel that way again. I was like, where can I find this? Like, what's going on? And then like, I also remember that night, that I think that was after I raised my hand or whatever. And I had told my dad, he's like, wow, like great job, so proud of you. And I was like, great, so what does that mean? Like what's going on? And he ended up explaining to me that, sorry, I'm kind of sidetracking, but it'll make sense after. But he ended up like he explained everything to me. And I was like, cool, okay, so like now I have to live for Jesus, I guess. That's what I got out of it. And then I had told him about my supernatural experience. And I think that's why I like raised my hand, because I was like unconsciously like, do I need to do this? Like, you know, like, is this how I can feel that feeling again? You know? And I was like, me, please, like, I want to feel it again. And he told me like, I just need to keep going to church, and I'll start to feel it again. And like after that, like worship was just the main way that I connected with God. And it was just worship is just so powerful to me now. And like it literally, that one moment affected the rest of my life, like seriously. And like after church, I was just like, I was yearning for like that love and like that overwhelming power. Like I needed a God, you know, like I needed him so badly, to the point where like I wanted to commit, you know, I just needed to commit. And like after that, one Sunday and that one Wednesday, I literally just dove right into it. I was just like, okay, like, what can I do? Like, what do I need to do? Let me ask questions. Let me ask people, all these kind of things. So I literally just dove into it. Unfortunately, my friend Dominic had moved. And his sister and his mom were doing kids ministry. And I was like, I need to do that. Like, I don't know why, but I need to go do that. And like, once they left, I started to get into it. I was like, okay, Janelle, like, how do I get into it? She's like, oh, you could start whenever you want. And I was like, can I start today? Like, I was like, when can I start? You know, like I was just pushing myself into literally Sandals Church in general and in God. And I was just trying to do everything I possibly can to feel that experience again and to feel that love again. And, you know, it worked, you know, I plugged myself in. I did all these kinds of things. My dad had bought me a Bible. He's like, I don't know why, but I feel like I need to buy you one. And I was like, cool. 'Cause I didn't have one. So I didn't know how to get that stuff, you know? And it was a journaling Bible. So I started to journal. I started to do all that kind of stuff every night. And then on my birthday, I got these headphones. and they were Beats headphones. They're super. I love Beats. Shout out to Beats. But it was so cool because then I could listen to my worship music, and I just made a playlist. Like I found all these songs. Like I started singing them, and I dove it right into church. I dove right into a life with Christ, and then this was all junior year, which was crazy. Like how much that can happen in a year. Can't believe I'm a senior. Whoa. But it was just, I made friends. I did all these kind of things. I went to camp. Like everything just felt so good. Like I think junior year, finally, I think I felt complete. Like I finally felt like I got what I was missing. And which is funny because that year that I had found all of that was also the year that my team did good well. You know, we went to state, we went to CIF, we made it far. We didn't win anything, but we got far. You know, and it was just that year was just so good. Like I remember how it started and like where I was when I ended. It was so beautiful, and like how much God can work in such a small amount of time. You know, and like it's just crazy how all of that works and like how He works and like the blessings that He's given me like throughout that. Like now my whole family comes to church with me. My mom got baptized. My uncle got baptized. My grandma got baptized. I know my sisters want to get baptized soon. My dad, I know they're coming soon. Like, and I've just grown so much, like spiritually, like all that kind of stuff. I've been able to make friends. And like, yeah, it's just been like such a powerful year. Junior year was so powerful for me. And I think that was either my make or break point. Like I was either gonna, not do the greatest in life, or I was gonna find God and be the best person I could be with Him. And yeah, that was just really powerful. Junior year. Wow.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, it was so fun. I love that year. I should go back. Oh my gosh.
How has, like, you have this junior year experience, like you dive in, you're in a group, you're serving, like all those things. How has that helped shaped your senior year of high school as you're now at the tail end of youth, you're getting ready for the next season of life? How did the foundation of junior year help set up your senior year?
Right. So junior year was awesome. And because I wanted to be a Christian, because I wanted to be a woman of God, I decided that that's what I needed to be. And that's who I needed to tell everyone that I needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so after junior year, I was like, okay, like coming into this next year, like He has to be my center. Like it was literally something that I just needed to do. And I was like, continuously learning from church and stuff. I was like, I gotta tell people. Like, I think the start of senior year, that was the main thing that stuck in my head, was like, I need to tell people, like, you need to experience this like amazing love that I feel like every day. Like it just feels so good. Like I need to tell you, like you need to know. And I think junior year shaped that. And coming into senior year, I was like, I don't care what people think, like you have to come with me. Like you have to come experience this. So junior year is, senior year. I want to say it's kind of like my discipling year, kind of. So I decided that I need to invite people. So I started to invite people. I invited my teammates. I literally just started inviting everyone to youth at that point. Senior year is like when my mom decided to get into it too, and like then my grandma came, like just everything just started to bloom kind of in a sense, and so much happened. What's it called? We went even farther for basketball. Like that year, I started to pray for my teammates. Like before every game, I would pray for them in the circle, and we would just pray, and I would thank God. And like I think senior year, I was able to involve God in everything that I did, and that alone was just so like good for me. Like I loved doing it. Like it was something that I love to do. I still love to do. And senior year was when I was like, okay, God, like you get to figure out my future. Like that was when I realized, I think senior year is when I realized like that my life is in His hands, and like it's His, and I think that's when I finally started to realize like, wow, like I don't have to stress so much. Like I don't have to do so much. Now I realize like I can ask Him, I have someone to rely on. And I think that year it was just more of like, let me get everyone to realize that you're not alone. You're not by yourself. Like, we have God, like he's here. So like that was when like I started to change like what I wore, like what how I talked to people. Senior year, start of senior year, I completely stopped cussing. Like I mean I still occasionally do, but it's more of like intense situations, you know? So if you are struggling with cussing and stuff, it's understandable. But again, don't do it on purpose because it's not fun and it's not cool. Just saying. But it's just like I just changed so much. Like I just became this whole new person, and people started to like where'd you come from? You know, like who are you? You know, people started to like realize that I was changing and realize that I'm this completely new person, and like I was able to set boundaries with people I didn't know I could set. Like I started to enter new friendships, new relationships, and just build like relationships where I could pray for people and they knew I was praying for them. You know, even though you don't know God, like I'm still praying for you and I hope you know that type of relationships. And like it was just so amazing seeing the blessings that God was giving me. Like literally I had prayed the whole junior year, like please, like because last year we had a Christmas Eve service and my parents were like planning a party, whatever. But not last year, sorry, junior year. And they weren't coming and stuff. And I was like, man, like I don't want to go by myself. And so I went into service for Christmas Eve, and I literally was at service by myself. Obviously, my church fam, but I was by myself, and I was like, man, I really want my family here. And I remember just sobbing the whole time. I was just crying. I was like, man, I want my family here. You know, I hate being at church by myself. And I just felt so alone. And like that night, like I prayed, I was like, Lord, like, just please, like, bring them. Like, please, like, I just want them here with me. I want them to experience what I'm experiencing. And literally the next year, my family started to come with me all the time. And like, I was like, thank you. Like, it was just like a little, you know, it was a little pick me up. And I was like, thank you. Like, I could finally have like my family with me, you know, even if they don't believe the same things I do, or not yet. Plotting. That it just felt so good, you know? And I think senior year was the shift. Like, what I do at church, I have to do at home. And honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, it was really difficult. My mom still talks to me a lot about it. She's like, you treat your church friends like how you treat them, but you don't implement what you do at church at home. And I was like, okay. So that year definitely was a lot of growth. Like I had to realize what I was learning, I also had to implement. And I did outside of home. So I did do that with everyone else. And it was really hard. It was tough outside. I had a ton of problems with my team senior year. Like so many things happened with that stuff. And like I was able to stay patient. I was able to do the things I needed to do. And I was able to grow from it, you know? But at home, it was less growing, more fighting, you know? And like I was still changing at home. So the spiritual battle was difficult, but it was like no one knew what I was fighting in my head. You know, like let's say I was upset at my sister, and like instead of saying something to her, I just don't say anything at all. So I was growing and I was changing at home, but it just wasn't visible yet. And it was still a struggle because I was still being kind of mean. I was still kind of being who I was. And like I think senior year it like clicked. It was like I need to be the person who God has made me to be, who I'm made new to be. And because I did get baptized junior year. But with that, I was like, okay, like I was literally just shifting. Like everything was shifting. Like I need to be this new person he's made me to be because I'm new. I'm not who I was. And I think not bringing back who I was into who I am was really difficult. And I think like a lot of people in my life would bring back my old mistakes. So senior year, I think it was definitely a lot of apologizing, a lot of forgiving, a lot of being forgiven. And it was just in all aspects of my life, it was all growing. Like junior year was like, I was kind of learning everything. You know, I still got a lot of, you know, grace from people. They're like, okay, like she's still learning, she's still doing all this. But senior year was more like, hey, you are a leader. Like like God has brought you to be a leader and you can't act the same way that you've been acting. So I was like, okay, like I need to grow more. You know, I grew a lot junior year. I changed a lot, but I really need to step into this role of a leader and be that person for people. So senior year, I was like, all right, God, like whatever you tell me to do, like I'm gonna do it. So I prayed for anger. I prayed for lust. I prayed for being annoyed. That was a tough one. I still get annoyed a lot, but it was a tough one. For patience and anger and lust were my top 3, and that was something I was being challenged with every day. It was really hard and it was really challenging. Thank you, God, because I was able to overcome it. But I think now looking into senior year, like I was just able to grow so much. Like now if I get mad at someone, like I'm just like, okay, have a nice day. You know, like I don't, or like I'll say I'm sorry, you know, and I'm like, did I just apologize? Like what's going on, you know? And it's just so much growth. Like even with my family, like I'm still, obviously we're all still learning. We're all still working. I'm only 18. I'm still learning. Okay. But with my family, like I have more patience for them. Like I have more things that I can give them. And even though I still struggle because they're a family, you live with them, I'm starting to appreciate it more. You know, I'm starting to appreciate the fact that I can be angry and I have a solution for it, you know? And I think that's also really hard too, because you could be angry and you could be mad at your sister and you know the right thing to do. You know you need to be like, hey, I can't talk right now. Let me walk away. But also that's when senior year, I think that's when the enemy came in and I realized what the enemy was. And I realized that that's what's in my head. Not me. It's not me. It's the enemy trying to poison me. And that's what I think I struggle with a lot. And like with my sisters, like, of course, like I can still be rude now. Like I can still do all these things, but trying my best not to, or trying my best to give it to God rather than deal with it on my own is something that I just like moved into like heavily. Like it was just crazy. And like now I can speak to my sisters in a way that's mature enough where they will understand and like have a normal conversation with them, you know, like, and even if I'm angry, I'm like, hey, like I can't talk about this right now. Like, let's talk about another time where I can actually have a conversation with you. And like I can step away from those things, you know? I mean, obviously occasionally we're going to be siblings and we're going to fight and like be annoying, but like they know who I am now and they know that I want to be a woman of God and they understand that. And, you know, we're still working on getting them to there, but, they understand that. But now they love church. They love going. It was funny because one Wednesday night we were, I couldn't go, but it was actually our huge worship night that we had. I wasn't able to go. I had like a ceremony or whatever. So we pick them up and I'm like, all right, let's go. And they're like, okay. They did not want to leave. They did not want to leave. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it was such a beautiful moment for me, like as a big sister and like just seeing them like want to be there. Like even if they're just having fun with some of the church friends, like it was just so beautiful. And I was like, oh my gosh, you guys don't want to leave church? Like what? Like it did not register. And like, it's just so much growth happened senior year, like with everything and all like kinds of aspects of my life, like everything, like with my family, with my sports friends. A bunch of my basketball teammates were coming to church, you know, like they went to youth. Actually, 2 of my teammates are coming to church now. And like we're trying to, you know, reel their families in a little bit, but it's just like so fun, like this process of like bringing people to church and like helping them with their walk or whatever. And like, it's just so, it's like, I want to say freeing because it feels so good, but it's not really freeing because you have to help them. But it's freeing in the sense that you get to help someone, because I think my goal for that is like, I don't want to be in church how I was. And I was like, I didn't know anything, you know, like I didn't understand that I gave my life to Christ. Like I didn't know what I was doing. And like, I didn't understand what baptism truly meant. I just understood that I had to do it. And like, for myself, like I felt really alone in my walk. And like, I always prayed like, hey, can I have someone who's, you know, doing the same things I'm doing so we can learn? And like, Fortunately, God blessed me for that later. But Skyla, shout out to Skyla, she's the best. And yeah, it was just really hard, and I think I just don't want people to feel that way too. So it's freeing that I get to help people in a way that I wasn't able to be helped, or I wasn't able to look for that help, And just that type of growth in senior year is what really just drove it. Like, I just need help. I don't want people to feel the same way I do. Like, I don't want to have people feel the same way I did in the beginning of my walk. So let me help people, first of all, get into church, get into that, and then help them along the way, And I think that's, like, that growth thing really just, like, was just so good. And it's, like, wow, like, it's just amazing. Like, thinking back on it, like, I love like helping my sisters, if they want to do something, if they want to hang out, or like, forcing them to do something with me that they don't want to do, but it's like, I want to do it though, And like my mom, like getting baptized was insane. Like, I mean, I knew it, but it was just like, whoa, like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, a woman who grew up Catholic, teaching people her religion, Catholic, and like all that kind of stuff, got baptized as a Christian and let go of all of that, And like, it was just crazy. And like my dad coming to church, and like all these kinds of things. My grandma getting baptized, my uncle, actually 2 of my uncles got baptized now that I think about it, but it was just insane. Like, senior year was just so much, like, so many blessings. Like, a lot of bad things happened, but like more growth and blessings were given. Like, honestly, when I reflect on senior year, all I can think about are blessings. Like, obviously bad things happened, like I messed up or I sinned or did something, but it's like, in the end, like, the blessings are what you like get the benefits of, like, that's what you reap. And like, it was just so, it felt so good. Like, I don't know it's the senior year was an actual blessing. Like, it was something that I got to experience, and when I walk with Christ, and just so much growth and so much like freedom, basically. I think senior year I can describe the word with like freedom, like with God, and like my experiences with others. It was just like overwhelming amazing. Like, it was just amazing. And yeah. My gosh.
That's really cool. It's really inspiring to hear your story, and honestly, how the Lord has worked through you and is continuing to work on you. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
You brought your Bible today. I asked you to bring your Bible, actually. I'll acknowledge that. Would you mind sharing a verse or two that has really kind of ministered to you as you've gone about following Jesus?
Right. So, actually, what's it called? I had like a ton of like favorite verses. The first one I actually memorized was I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, because it's like so easy. But like, that was the verse that I repeated. But one, like, I forgot when, but I kept seeing 29:11, and I was like, what the heck is that? Like, what do you mean? Like, I prayed about it, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, and I was going through a rough patch, like, I didn't know how I was going to solve a friendship. Like, I didn't know how I was going to talk to people. Like, I was just growing, and like, I just needed help. And I was like, I just don't know. Like, I keep asking why, like, why this, God, like, why, that's, I feel like that's all the question all Christians have, like, why, and in like the rough time, he was like able to show me Jeremiah 29:11, and I know everyone knows it, it's a verse everyone really knows, but for me it just like constantly stuck out. And he literally told me, or Jesus told me, he was like, you need to read this every day, like, you need to know this. And I was like, okay, yeah, and I would ignore it, and then I keep seeing it everywhere, and the next thing I know, it's in sermons all the time, and it's like, and I'm like, what the heck, they never talked about this before, like, why now, and I was like, dang it, like, and like, you feel like the sermon was written for you. I was just like, okay, whatever. Oh, would you like me to read it? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So Jeremiah 29, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. And actually, went to this year when I was having a rough time, I was being called to join the worship team, which is for me very vulnerable. It's because worship is like the most way that I connect with God, and like worship in general is just very vulnerable to me, and like joining the team is just was very difficult for me. And like, even doing the audition, I was literally shaking the whole time. Like, I was just shaking. I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I can't do this. And it took me months just to do the audition, you know, like it was insane. But I was having a hard time, and what's it called? And I told that to one of the young adults. She's kind of mentoring, and actually Joanna. And she was like, she doesn't know this is my favorite verse, but she sent me a sermon, and in the sermon, it was like everyone's favorite verse is Jeremiah 29:11, but they always forget 12 and 13. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like he was talking about how you need to know, right? You need to know these verses, because if you just read them, you don't actually know it. You're just like, you don't actually understand the verse, you just know the verse. And like that sermon like totally opened up so many doors, and like it made me want to have that childlike faith, you know? And like it made me realize, like, I'm not supposed to know anything. Like, I'm not supposed to know my future. I'm not supposed to know whether or not I'm gonna, meet my future husband now or later. Just wait, ladies. But verse 12 says, then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. And 13 says, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. And the first line from 11 says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. And that line, like when I watched the sermon, I was like, man, like I'm not supposed to know anything. Like if I knew my plans, if I knew everything that I was going to do in life, like I would be stressing out more than I did now, like I'd be like I would be going insane. Like, and that verse, he explained the verse in a way where I was like, okay, God knows all. I don't know all. I don't need to know all. Like, it's okay if I don't know all. So it's okay to question why, but it's like, we can question why, God, like, why is this happening to me? But I think it's better to question why than know why, and knowing our plans and like knowing what we will do in our future is just like we can't. We can't. I would go insane. I literally cannot know what I would do, because I'd be like, how do I figure this out? Like, right. God has got it all covered for us. Like, he can do everything for us. He's got it covered. And I think that's something I was struggling with a lot my senior year. Like, this bad thing that happened to I was stressing out, and I was like going crazy. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And he's like, perfect. That's great. That's what I need. Don't know what to do so I can come in and help you. And I think rather than trying to solve it on my own, like senior year, I was able to give it to him and actually surrender to him. And like he repeated this verse, like, I know your plans. You don't know your plans. Like, stop trying to figure them out. Stop trying to know what you're doing. Stop trying to have control of everything. Like, I have complete control. And like, he just threw that in my face multiple times. Like, he was like, I have control of everything that you're doing. And him saying that to me was just so opening for senior year, because I was always trying to have control, and I didn't realize that. And he made me realize with every bad situation, I can grow from it, and that he knows what's going to happen to me. He knows what will help me. He knows what won't help me. And he just told me, you need to listen to me. Like, this is the year you need to listen to me. And like, I think this senior year, I was fighting back a lot, because I felt like I knew what was good for me. Obviously not, because none of it worked. But I mean, in the end, like, I ended up listening to God, like, about the worship team. Like, even just for that, like, that took forever for me to listen to. And I barely did it barely last week, I think 2 weeks ago. But he was telling me, after I did my audition, right? What's it called? Other people wanted to start singing. And I was like, whoa, like, what the heck? And like, other people sang, my sister sang as well. And mind you, again, every time I turn on a worship song at home, my sister's like, can you turn it off? Can you turn it off? But she wanted to sing a worship song. So she sang, and it was just like, whoa, like, is this why you wanted me to do this? Like, is it like, what's going on? And then I was kind of questioning it. And then Michael, the person who was singing on that one day that I was connected with God, he was like, it takes a person like you for others to open up. Mm-hmm. And that it keeps staying in my head. I'm like, okay, like I have people watching me. I have people, I have this leadership role, and not doing the audition would have hindered that. And not putting myself in a vulnerable position would have hindered other people from growing. And I wouldn't be able to show people what they could be if I'm not vulnerable with myself. And like, I think that's what God was showing me a lot, because I was so fearful of everything, and I was so fearful of what everything could do, which actually leads to the other verse that I was going to say. But it's Isaiah 41, 41:13, I think, actually. 41:14. I lied. Do not be afraid, you worm Jacob, little Israel. Do not fear, for I myself will help you, declares the Lord, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. So, okay, when he said worm, I was like, bro, be for real. Like, but again, like, worms are little helpless creatures. Like, little helpless creatures who can't do anything, basically. All they do is eat dirt, okay? And, like, it made me realize, like, we are helpless creatures. Like, we don't know what we're doing. We eat a lot of food. Let's be for real, guys. Like, we eat a lot. Like, I eat a lot. I love food. But it's just, like, being called that and, like, understanding, like, I'm below. You know, God is up here and I'm right here. Like, he helped me understand that through that verse. And, like, he was like, it was basically him saying, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you scared? Like, why are you scared of these new experiences you're going to have? Like, I know your plans, and there's no reason for you to be scared. Like, I have your back. I know what you're going to do. Like, don't be scared, you know? And that verse really stuck out to me too, because I'm always scared for everything. I get scared really easily. I was nervous for this interview, and like, I was like, God, like, should I really be doing this? Like, I'll start questioning the good things that I'm doing because I'm scared of doing them. And I think he's revealing that to me now again. Like, there's no point on being scared, because he has your life. Like, he has your life. All you have to do is take his hand. All you have to do is say yes, and he will take care of the rest. Literally, like, every decision I've made was because he told me to make it, you know? And, sorry for those bad decisions. Those ones were me, okay? But all the great ones were him. And, like, being able to lay down everything in front of him and realize that, like, I don't really have to make decisions on my own. You know, I don't. And being able to realize that and being able to know that is just so, like, freeing. Like, it's so nice. Like, it's like, I think that's what I learned my senior year too. Like, I can just chill. Like, he's asking us to chill. Like, I'll figure it out. All you have to do is be there and ask me for help. Like it's like, saying it out loud sounds so easy. Like, it just sounds so easy and it sounds so nice. And like, that's all you have to do. All you have to do is say yes, and then ask him for help whenever you need help, and read some of your Bible. Come on. No, being for real. Like, it's like, it sounds so easy and it sounds like so simple to do, because it is, you know? I know I'm a person who likes to have control of my situations. I'm a person who wants to know everything and do everything by myself. And if I'm not doing it, you're not going to do it. You know, like, I'm one of those people like, oh, I can't ask for help, because then I'm like, I'll just do it myself. You know, don't worry about it. I got it. And, being that person and still being able to surrender to God, and like, not all the time, because obviously we all make mistakes, but finally realizing that I can surrender to God, and that I can have him make decisions for me, and all I have to do is listen, is like so freeing. Like, and it's so hard. Like, it's easy, but it's hard. Like, it's hard because I have to surrendering. I have to be humble. I have to actually give my bad situations to God. And like, that's hard, because I think I can figure it all out. But in reality, like, I can't figure anything out. So I have to ask him. And like, it's easy because you don't have to figure out your hard decisions. Like, I think the only reason hard decisions are hard is because you want to do it the way you want to do it. Mm-hmm. And that's something that he's opened up for me, that this is only tough for you because you don't want to do it. Like, the audition for worship was hard for me because I didn't want to do it. If I would have just listened, it would have been easy. But I don't want to listen, and it's like, come on now, And every single situation where I don't want to do something, it's difficult because I make it difficult. Not because he does, not because God makes it difficult for me, but because I'm fighting him so much that I want to do what I want to do. And he's just like, dude, you have to listen to me. Hello. Like he's literally like my dad. Like, he's like, come on, kid, like just listen. And he's like throwing things my way. And he's like, you have to just listen. And I'm like, no, but like I end up listening, obviously. But it's like that, like he pulls out the teenager in me and I'm just like feeling rebellious. And I'm like, I don't want to listen to you today, bro. Like, but it's not like that. It's like, it's not supposed to be that way. We're supposed to listen to him. And the only reason it's difficult is because we don't want to. And like, I think that comes with surrendering. Like, the only reason surrendering is hard is because you don't want to surrender. Like, a lot of things that come our way that are difficult is because we don't want to do it. And I think that senior year, like, a lot of things that I didn't want to do were the hardest because I didn't want to do it. Like, it's the hardest parts, Like, I don't want to give it to God. I don't want to surrender. Like, I don't want to have him make the decision and be out of my hands. But, like, once you say that, it sounds easy. Like, what? I can give something to someone, and all he has to do is say yes or no, and I'll have to be like, okay, I'll do it. Okay, sure, whatever. Like, that sounds so, like, easy. But we make it difficult. And, like, for senior year, it was like every situation that I had, like I had to fight between sports and my school. And I was like, okay, like I have this test, like I need to pass. And he was like, okay, just study. And I was like, I don't want to study, I just want to pass, But it's hard because I don't want to study. But if I study, then I will not be guaranteed, but I'll have a higher percentage of passing. And I think that relates to like everything. Like as long as you do it, you'll be fine, just go for it. And I think senior year, like, I think just go for it is something that has really stuck to me a lot. Like, you have to just go do it. Just go surrender. Just go give your life to Christ. Just do it. Like, just, like, Nike, bro. Like, I love Nike. Like, come on now. Like, oh, wait, those are my Nike socks. But, I mean, if I had Nike socks on, you'd get it. But it's like, you just have to go do it. Like, just say yes. Like, seriously. Like, it's, once you're a senior, like, you don't really care about anything else. Like, it's really, like, nothing is that deep anymore. Like, it's just, like, just go do it. Like, hey, do you want to go do this game? Yeah, sure, whatever. Like, senior year, there's going to be so many yeses that it's going to be more easier to say yes to God and, like, be able to answer his callings for you. Like, I don't want to do the worship team. Shoot, I still don't want to do it, okay? Like, I'm still struggling with that because I don't want to do it, but God wants me to do it. So that's why it's hard. We don't want to do anything, but God wants us to do everything. So in the end, it's like, if you just do it, it'll get easier, You won't be solved, like, right away, but things will get easier because the more hard things you do, the easier it gets to do hard things. Like, the more surrender to God, the easier it is to surrender everything to God. And, like, that's just something that's been super on my mind recently. And like, I've been trying my best to answer his callings and answer the things he wants me to do. Even though it's really difficult and really vulnerable and I don't want to do them, I still try my best. I mean, obviously we all slip up and stuff, but I'm trying my best to follow his plan for me and learn that it's okay to not want to do something, but it's not okay to not listen to God when he's telling you to do it. So, yeah. Yeah.
Scarlett, this has been awesome. You have a lot of great insight, and I can tell the Lord's really working through your life. I'm praying for you as you head into this next season. I think God's going to do really big things through you, and it's going to continue to work on you.
Yeah.
I'm stumbling over my words.
It's okay.
Thank you for being today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.